I'm not sure how, I mean, like, I don't know, I don't want to sound old, but for me, like, hookup that's like a one-night stand, right? I mean, that's like fucking, right?
Well, it's getting late.
Yes, it is. I'd ask you in for bar meat if it weren't so late. Let's plan to get home in time for a sandwich or something next time.
Say, that sounds good. I'll call you next week.
Will you? Well, thanks so much. I had loads of fun.
So did I.
Good night, Woody.
Night, Aunt.
I'm drunk.
Don't me.
So you guys really broke up?
Yeah. You gonna have a drink?
No.
Whoa, never mind. You're good.
Wait, hooking up.
Hooking up, I would say it's anything making out and more, going past that.
It's just like sex, but no relationships. Get it? Like, nothing extra. You know, friends with benefits, basically.
Having sex.
Just like making out with somebody?
Like going home with someone and like, I don't know, doing anything you feel like doing with them.
Meeting somebody and having sex.
Basically like kissing or like having sex and like randomly, you know.
Spontaneous.
I would say hooking up is, you have sex.
It's just like going to like a party, like meeting someone and only doing it like once, you know?
It can be like making out, sex, or pretty much any activity that like involves hormones or
Yeah.
I mean, it's like casual sex, basically. Kissing.
One night stand.
Bad?
Probably like a night out.
It's too broad of a term, you know what I mean? To be defined.
If I go back to when I was a freshman in college or when I was in college and younger, I think we understood hookup culture as one-night stands. So it was no commitment, having sex or being intimate with someone without commitment. And I think that has translated, that one-night stand has translated into your generation of what we now understand as a hookup culture, which is, being intimate or hanging out with someone in an intimate or physical way without any kind of commitment or expectation for follow-through, and having some kind of freedom to, have some sexual agency without commitment. I think we tend to think about hookup culture as more of promiscuous behavior. And so I think any kind of negative connotations kind of come with that promiscuity in the sense that you're deviating from or in conflict with this pairing family.
To me, dating is just, trying out different people, just like hookup culture. The only difference being that hookup culture is like not solely, but, more of a sex thing. And dating is just like, just trying out different people to see what you like.
I think dating would be that you're going out with someone that you like in a consecutive way, so repetitively.
I think it's more of a hookup culture rather than dating culture nowadays, just because I feel like to some people it seems like it's easier to have a hookup than it is to be tied down with just one person throughout college. People are looking for fun and like excitement throughout college.
I think that women are definitely slutified. They are still evaluated and assessed for their behavior, their sexual behavior. So I think if we see women, whether it's you or you or you, and you have multiple partners, you are read by society or inscribed by society as a slut or loose or, less valuable. I think for guys, it's still kind of a cool conquest thing. Like, you have a lot of girls, and that makes you virile and desirable. And you've been, you've kind of proven your masculinity and your manhood, and your, sexuality quotient kind of rises by the number of women that you've had. Like, it makes you more experienced.
I think women are perceived as slutty or whores. They're not perceived well at all, in my mind.
Especially for guys, hooking up is probably something that's more popular, because guys are more, oh, I want to bang this chick and, see how many chicks I can bang. But with girls, it's more, some girls, they prefer hookup culture, don't get me wrong. But I think it's more something for guys.
I definitely think it's accepted in other groups, primarily guys, personally.
I perceive them pretty equally. I don't think that, like, guys are like, yeah, good job. I look at them and I'm like, it's a broken person, they need fixing.
No, I think it's accepted by anyone except maybe past generations, like our parents. I think it's definitely a double standard. Men are viewed as, like, oh, you go man, like, very macho, and it's complete opposite of what women are viewed as. It's more of a positive thing if men are hooking up with a lot of girls, and with women it's much more negative connotation.
As far as hookup culture goes, the media does influence it a lot. They make it seem like it's okay and it's more accepted. Therefore, more people like engage in it, thinking that it's okay.
I would definitely say I agree with the technology. It's a lot easier to, meet somebody new. It's a lot easier to send photos around. It's a lot easier to send videos around. And there's all sorts of websites, applications for your phone that promote, socializing. 100 years ago, they didn't have those same things. They didn't even have phones or, stuff like that. You only could communicate with those people who you saw. When you're going to see somebody every day, and that, you can't get away from them, you're going to, think twice before you just want to, gratify a sexual pleasure at their expense, When you know that you're not going to see that person, that, you can just block them on your feed or whatever. You can just delete their number, change your phone number.
I think technology is a big part, especially Tinder. Everyone I know that has Tinder it's a hookup site. It's not, there are some people I know, primarily girls actually, that want to find their boyfriend on there, but every guy I know is looking for a hookup.
I think it's because so much of the social media and the texting, it makes one-on-one conversation so much less important now, that I think it's more acceptable to hook up with someone and then the next day just not see them or not care about them, because we're not really talking to them face-to-face to begin with anyway.
It's kind of taken away a little bit of the drama that is, oh no, I have to see you up front first and decide whether I like you, or, I'm going to go to a bar and have a drink and see who's at the bar, and, maybe I could, have an eye signal or something like that, or, maybe we'll dance and somebody, I'll see somebody that I like, or, for women more prominently is maybe someone will like me. And so I think the internet has, in many ways, broken that all down and gotten rid of all those several steps forward. So I think it allows you greater access in a quicker way to decide, gee, maybe I'll date you. So you could have an exchange online, you can use dating services. But I also think it's introduced a lot of drama, and the drama is that one thing about the internet and technology is that there is, we call it the cyborg, which is the mixing of human with machine. And, there are pieces of self-disclosure that can be hidden. So who you really are and what you really do potentially can be, I want to say, manipulated.
I don't really know. If the social media and the texting keeps increasing, I think it'll stay as it is. But if we can get more of a control on people actually having face-to-face conversations more often, then I think maybe it'll die down.
I'm very concerned about it. I think there's a disposability now to romance and physical intimacy. that's a little scary because, like, yeah, people have been having one-night stands and sleeping together forever. Certainly is not a new thing. Like, yeah, I mean, there are always going to be people who go to bars to pick up people for just sex. But, like, it's very clear, I think, when that's happening, that it's like a mutual understanding, like, okay, yeah, we'll fuck tonight. But when you start mixing in this platform that's meant to kind of either be for finding love or for fucking, I think it's confusing and people's feelings get hurt, and there's this sort of strange thing happening where people have to say on their profiles, like, no hookups, not looking for hookups, because otherwise you just don't know what you're going to get.
Media has altered the way that it's done, but throughout history, I don't think that like hookup culture, I do not believe is new in any way.
I just feel like people should do what they want to do. If that's where you're comfortable doing, that's how you prefer to live your life, then do it. Why not? Yeah, I'm neutral toward it. I mean, I don't engage in it, but I know a lot of people, a lot of close friends that they just like sex. So if that's what they like, they should practice it safely. But if that's what they like, you can't judge people.
Personally, I feel hookup culture is not that great. I'm in a relationship, so I kind of am very biased about that. But like for like my single friends, I feel like it's okay every once in a while to hook up, but you should definitely like try to find someone instead of just hooking up every weekend. And I've done both lives, the hookup life and the relationship life, and it's just so much better being in a relationship. You don't have to worry about like going out to hook up with somebody or anything. And I just feel like it's better if more people just started dating instead of just following this generation of just let's hook up all the time.
Personally, I mean, I've been in a relationship for a long time. So going into college, I was in a relationship. I still am. So I've never really been in that hookup culture. And I prefer it so much more than hooking up with other people because the pressure or hearing stories from my friends who hook up with someone and then the next day they're regretting it and they're upset or they get attached to someone just because they hooked up. I mean, I haven't had that drama in my life because I've been in a relationship, and I don't think I'm missing out on anything because of it. So I find it unfortunate that that's nowadays what you have to do to get someone's attention, girl or guy.
It's wicked. Even just like, even if it doesn't lead to sex, but just like being with another person of the opposite sex or of the same sex and who you aren't married to, who you have no plans of marrying, and doing like towing the line, even not going too over it, but getting so close to it, it's wrong.
That I think despite your free hooking up behaviors, that eventually you mature, you settle into jobs, and that dominant discourse, without even knowing it, I think floats to the top. Why can't we have 3 partners, or why don't we have 5 partners? And maybe that's a more natural way, and maybe we're just meant to be with somebody for, a little while. The one thing that I didn't touch on that's also new for your generation that was a little less prominent for me is sexually transmitted diseases and being really careful about multiple partners. And so that introduces a high level of risk. And so I think you've got to be like more on guard and more careful. The stranger that you are attracted to for the one-night stand is no longer a cool thing.
I think it would be more like, dominant in college life, just because, we're still developing as people, as adults. So no one wants to be serious with anyone because no one really has a solid direction in life yet when you're in college. It's like you're still finding yourself. Where our generation is going, a lot of things are more accepted. For example, gay marriage has been, more accepted. It's been passed as a law. So I think with that and with hookup culture being condemned, I don't think it would be that big of a deal in the future.
I think hookup culture will continue to be accepted, primarily because it's our generation, and from the looks of it, the generation below us still kind of accepts hookup culture. So I think it's just going to continue to grow as we get older.